Hello, ladies and gentlemen. How are you doing today? I am your Planetary Defense Commander. And well, I was going to make a video telling everybody about all the storms that are going to be here on the Eris alignment, which is Easter/Resurrection Day Sunday. So we have an Eris Easter major storm that is going to bombogenesis out across the United States. And the Eris storm is going to be a doozy. So I was going to make a video for that for you guys. But my hackers were giving me heck. So I decided to come on and just say, hey, happy Good Friday, y'all. It's a crazy world. The world's a crazy place. And it's like every moment is life or death. Everything hangs in the balance. And there are several reports today that the numbers being counted in New York and other places are being grossly undercounted, which is my suspicion. And so let me say again, it's like every single moment is like life or death. And I can only give you advice. I hope you take it. You know? So, God bless everyone. I feel weird because it's like I said, I'm using my new iPhone camera and it's superior. So you can now see every nook and cranny and crack and crevice and color in my face. Oh, I got a radical conspiracy theory that I would love to share with you, if possible. Because by now we should have telephones that can focus super fast or technically stay in focus no matter if you zoom in or zoom out. We should have that technological capability. But I have a feeling they have filters definitely over the moon so that whatever moon photograph you're trying to take, it gives you like some version of whatever photograph you took. Like if there were something really cool on the moon that you were trying to capture, your phone's probably just not going to be able to capture it, bro. It's like I always make a joke anytime I get a new phone. And I'm like, man, I sure can't wait till the day they invent a camera that knows how to focus well. It's like my focus is always fighting me. Yeah, we got a lot of things to be grateful for. And I would like everybody, I'm going to give you a homework assignment for this weekend. I would like you to listen to Johnny Cash's When the Man Comes Around. Can you do that for me? And God bless everyone. You know, I'm trying not to get into all the information right now. Because like I said, I didn't even want to get into it all. That's why I just wanted to make a weather video so I could avoid all the major topics. Because I've been in a zen good mood today, even though the information seems to be very bad. And our government still seems to be behind, you know, a month or two behind the eight ball. We're like mentally, it's taking a while for them really to catch up. And yesterday, so I've been watching the like apps and the charts and shit like nonstop. Like you plug in and that's all you do. And so yesterday I was watching and the counter I was using had the deaths up at like 1900 for the day. And then at like 8 p.m. they stopped and they were like, all right, the totals for the day are done. And I was like, wait, you guys cut it off 4 hours earlier than you have all month. For 3 weeks, you guys usually wait until the end of the day and then you change it. And they're like, nope, we're going to go ahead and take the data and say the data is like a complete full day's data, even though we cut 4 hours out of it. And so then they turn around and are like, hey, the daily deaths number went down. I was like, yeah, because you guys cut 4 hours out of the data. So sure, yeah, I guess. But it was just another case where like in real time, I watch them try to control the narrative, and for whatever reasons, they're like, the curve is being flattened, and technically we're flattening the curve because it exists exponentially over time. So yeah, we're flattening the curve, but we're not necessarily seeing the data go down. We're not seeing the deaths go down. I don't know if you saw the photographs of the video of them burying coffins in New York City in the park, and just even the reports of people from New York who are hearing sirens a lot. And to this day, I still can't figure why New York is getting hit so hard compared to everybody. Like, even in the just reported numbers, New York lost 770 something people today, and Texas lost 4 people. And so, I mean, the math of it all still doesn't make sense to me. And I think it'll take a week or two before we can really feel out what the real data is. But I'm glad I'm alive today. And I am glad I have electricity. I'm glad that most of us are fed. And I would highly recommend that, like, the government, all 50 states, have an idea or a plan to have a safe SNAP, which is basically like food stamps, which is basically just making sure everybody has X amount of food from now until July 7th. What we need is a big 100-day plan where we'll figure we would play maximum defense until July 4th. Because, and that what we have happening right now, we have the United States, yes. But the United States is made up of 50 different states. And so our president did not lock down. I mean, I'm saying our president isn't the one who, he's not the king of all 50 states. He's like the leader above them. And that all 50 states make their individual choices. And so that at no point in time can the president or Congress say, I'm turning the economy back on, quote unquote, and that every 50 states have to abide with what they say. And so that if we don't have some type of a major plan, it's just going to be a collection of 50 different state plans. And that, like I've said before, that whatever state we live in my opinion, we represent that state. And I feel like I have done a fantastic job of representing Texas and Texans. I know that all the Texans I know have been taking this situation very seriously. And a moment I had where I was saying Texas needs to close schools and shut it down while we figure out what's going on, I would get reports on my personal Facebook from a lot of the teachers as the districts were closing down, just reporting in. And that was a very proud moment for me to watch the team work well. And so, a lot of times nationally people are focused on the Republican or the Democrat, but everything is local. And so, I've never appreciated Texas more than I do now. And I've always loved Texas. Oh, but another thing, on this Good Friday, I'm asking all Christians, all believers to stay home this Easter/Resurrection Day and pray and celebrate all weekend, but from your house, with whoever you've already quarantined with. That at no point in our Christian faith is it dependent on us in this very strange situation taking a risk of mass gathering to somehow say, we don't believe you. Now, people can do that. I'm just saying that is dumb, in my opinion. And I'm hoping and praying that Texans will be very safe and very smart and recognize that Jesus will still love them if they be very safe this Sunday. And don't take any chances. Play defense this whole April. And part of the defense is figuring out, now that the whole world has changed and we have a demon virus breaking out, what type of a world are we going to build? And I know people get scared at the big stuff. People get real, they're like, no, we can't improve everything because that would be a new world order. Well, I mean, technically, as I keep saying, the New World Order has been in place for like 40 years, bro. And then they rode that oil and war and hospitals and prisons for profit system until the wheels fucking fell off. But guess what? The wheels fell off. And so now is my recommendation that everybody on earth play defense. And that there's no reason to be looking forward to an election in November when we have major problems that have to be solved now. And our president is just one man. And so it is ridiculous, whether it been with Trump or Obama or Bush or Clinton, even Reagan, Jimmy Carter, like for us to all look at one man to either have all the solutions or be the savior or figure it all out, it's always been ridiculous, you know? And so, yeah, I'm asking everybody, all Christians, definitely this Sunday, Easter, to stay home and stay safe. Definitely celebrate, you know? That Jesus does not need you to be Easter egg hunting in groups, large groups this weekend. That is my belief. Okay, now, I know some people are going to get triggered, and our Surgeon General said, avoid alcohol, but this is going to be my act of rebellion. I'm now having a Budweiser. Like I said, people are like, don't drink, don't smoke. I'm like, well, sorry, man, I'm a total Texas Viking that was born in Illinois. And so I can handle it. And you know, though, I was thinking about this. The weird thing that I was telling y'all for like 2 or 3 years was like, dude, we all need like a month vacation. And it was like, hell no. And so now we get this hybrid vacation where we're all staying home, reevaluating our lives, our future. And then there were these photos that came out of Los Angeles today of Los Angeles with no smog. Wow, one sip of beer and I'm toasted, man. And also another thing about drinking on camera, I like to prove to you and everybody that one of the smartest things you can do is learn how to control your partying. That if you're gonna be drinking, always know your limits. And so I believe I've shown that as your planetary defense commander, I can handle pretty much any situation. Asterisk? Anywho, I don't know, man. And cheers to all the doctors and the nurses and the essential workers and everybody out there who is still keeping our country up and running while we figure out what we're going to do next. Because talking truth to power has been my job, and all the old ideas aren't going to work anymore. Like having small plans that fit in some pre-Y2K 2020 virus is not going to work anymore. We got to improve everything. And I know if you try and just think about it at once, that can be scary. But it's kind of like this weird Zen state that I'm in today that, we've always adapted. We've always adapted and we've always risen to the challenge. And so we know with the Eris alignment coming up. And the crazy thing is, like, if your computer is not being attacked by hackers at the moment, I definitely invite you to go check out the weather sites and the weather data, because there's been a low that has been spinning off California for 6 days. Cranky Weather Guy's been talking about it. Weather Twitter's been talking about it. Stu Ostro has great gifts on it. Like, there's just a low that has been sitting over Southern California for 6 days, just sitting and spinning, and it's been causing some rain and flood problems there. And so what's going to happen, and Reed Timmer has retweeted one of the best versions I've seen that I wanted to show you guys. That's going to be like the main thing for the video, where it just shows it spinning, and then it's going to spin and meet up with this other giant chunk of energy, and they're going to form this storm that may be comparable to that storm that really gut punched the Midwest in 2018, was it? Maybe it was 2019. Who knows? But so the Eris storm event is going to be a really big, dangerous event that is going to really power punch a lot of people up in the Tennessee Valley. And so it's going to be a pretty brutal event. And looking at it, I always think, I know anytime I see there's a low pressure or even a high pressure sitting and then just rotating over one single area for an extended period of time, I think earthquake, volcanoes. And so I don't think if we had a major earthquake event or a major volcano event that it would surprise anyone. Cheers. Well, how are you guys doing? What a crazy world, man. Like I said, today's, I feel optimistic. I don't want to misspeak, but I feel like everybody's running out of options. Like, for all the people who want to choose like the bad ideas or the shitty things or they're all running out of options, man. That, like, the people who are clinging to the old systems and the old ways, they're running out of options fast. And it is strange because I think most of us are really starting to realize, I mean, I know for a fact, we are never going back to the old world as we know it. And so it is crazy to have watched like Wall Street, finance, Twitter, even the president or Republicans be like, we got to reopen the economy as soon as possible. And the way they talk about it makes me realize, like, okay, they know that the world has changed, but they're basically trying to say, we need to get back to our old economy as soon as possible, which is crazy. You know, that we've had major overhauls and changes. And so, you know, the richest people and all the politicians are all geared to think only one way. And they don't even know how to adapt. And I'm talking politicians on all the sides. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but a politician's only job is to get elected and then to get reelected. That's their whole job, bro. That's it. They come out with all these fancy promises and they say they're going to do this, they say they're going to do that, but at the end of the day, their only job is to get reelected. And so now that we are in a situation where the entire game has changed, exposing all the flaws in capitalism, communism, socialism, politicians don't know how to adapt. So that's why you saw at the very beginning of this, they were like, cut interest rates, major loans for corporations, major TARP, so they just started firing money everywhere. Although I gotta say again, they have said, remember how we said we'd have your paychecks to you in the mail by first it was gonna be the 4th Then it was going to be the 10th. And then now it was going to be the 14th. I don't know. I think they pushed it back again. I said early on, one of my biggest fears was they would somehow fuck around and screw up the basic thing of even just sending out the first round of checks to everybody for food, rent, and stuff. And well, they haven't totally thrown it in the dirt, but somehow the dates keep getting pushed back. I don't know. I don't have all the answers. But I know that I'm not giving up. And like I said, I am a Christian. And I always have this, whether it be around Easter or Christmas, I just get filled with a unnatural spirit of optimism. And that no matter what is going on, even if there's a giant storm everywhere, it's always super easy for me to tap into the Christmas energy or the Resurrection Day energy. And so if you're looking for like depressed or Debbie Downer Thor over this weekend, you're not going to get me. Not going to get that. Like, even if the storm on Easter Day is comparable to Hurricane Michael over ground, I don't think it's going to be a Cat 5, but I definitely think it's going to knock down more trees and roofs than we're ready for. That I have to maintain like my standard optimism, because that's just the way I am. And I love you guys. But yeah, dude, like, I think the people who try to tell everyone that this virus was fake or the flu or isn't that big of a deal, I think they totally misplayed their hand. Like I said, I think people mainly bet like a political side, where like one side is like it's hoax and then one side is like it's real. And so on this political bet, they were totally, absolutely wrong. Anyone who downplayed it as just the flu was totally wrong, because we're seeing a lot of people that we knew of dead that are no longer here. And that we've seen a lot of a lot of lives lost. I mean, it's, if you compare and contrast the big cities, and you got to understand, I mean, I believe you understand that major pharmaceutical and healthcare corporations, his main goal has never been to solve cancer, to solve diabetes, it's always been to figure out how to make the most money possible off of people's illness. And they pushed it beyond the borderlines of where they give you the chemicals to get you sick, and then they treat you for 10 years for 500 grand. Like, we know that. And so we're in this weird position where the same groups that have only looked at a problem, like how can we make as much money off of everybody, where we're in that really weird gray zone where they're not going to be giving us the best data. They're not going to be there. I mean, it's so like we're in that zone. And so that's why, like, I don't trust the data at all. I don't trust any of the numbers. And if I'm not going to trust something, I'm going to trust on the protect myself and everyone around me side, as opposed to just like, woo, woo, woo. Because I know that people are dying in much larger numbers than we've seen in New York. I don't know why California and Texas aren't getting hit anywhere near as hard. I know that like Michigan's getting hit pretty hard. Illinois is getting hit pretty hard. And so it does seem like there is a weird, I think like Massachusetts, Connecticut, they're all getting, it seems to be like there's a temperature gradient where like the virus is having a much harder time in warm spots, Although Louisiana's not, I mean, Louisiana would be like the anomaly in all of that. But I know like a lot of people have been, for the last 8 years, 10 years, have been like, I trust whatever the Republicans tell me. Or I trust whatever the Democrats tell me. And I've been trying to say, hey man, try to pretend like government's not even there. Or if it is, it's working against you. And then try to figure out the piece of the puzzle. And so, I mean, it's a pretty bad situation in New York right now. It's really bad. And if you look at the mortality spike, like, this is 3 times 9/11 in 3 weeks. And so it's really kind of having, can you remember when 9/11 happened? When like there was this like 5-day pause where all Americans were like united and were like, and everyone was really freaked out. Well, this has been like that without that period where Wall Street even stopped doing commercials or Madison Avenue stopped doing commercials. Because I always remember I had the weird moment in my life where I remember when 9/11 happened. And it was like 1 day, 2 days after 9/11 where, the commercial started out and it was like, we know that everyone is saddened and terrified by everything that's happened. But Subway will be here from you whenever you're ready to get cold cut sandwiches again. And it was just, but like for like a 3-day period, there was this human moment. And what I'm saying is we haven't had a unified human moment throughout this. We've seen 3 9/11s. You've seen 18,000 people die in 3 weeks, just like boom, boom, boom. And at no point in time has there been like, hey, we are all in this together. We are all on the same page. We are all focused on the problem, and we're all focused on trying to find solutions, knowing that this is new. This is unlike anything we've faced in modern era. And we even have data to go off of that, like, that they had the Spanish flu in 1918, that it was here for about 2.5 years, and that once the Spanish flu was gone, we went into the roaring 20s. So back then they went through a really traumatic, confining, scary time. But when they made it out, civilization always goes in stutter steps forward. And so we had a boom, the roaring 20s, where times were good again. No, they were not perfect, but like I'm saying. And so we kind of had that thing where we have the major problem, and then was it 50 million people died? Like, so, and it's just weird that for the last 3 weeks, it still seems like Wall Street's just totally been in control. And so that, it's why you keep hearing from, reopen the economy like it was Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. When in reality, you have 50 governors and states. And that all the states agree to be in the union. And so that each state his relationship with the United States is like a marriage. And that you have to treat your spouse well, or you guys get divorced, or there's a breakup. That's just the way it goes. And so I think, me and my friends and my family in Texas and Astro Fight Club, we're going to try and do the best we can. But that there's going to be a major driving factor by the people who only care about money to only care about money. And I don't know what's going to happen. But I know that my prediction has been that The energy will improve after the 13th. And hopefully we will have a whole lot of come to Jesus moments and come up with a brand new plan to make everything work. We'll see. 2020 is not boring. Yeah, so your homework assignment is to listen to Johnny Cash's The Man Comes Around. It seemed very relevant. Super relevant. Where do we want to be 10 years from now? All right, so I love you guys, and this was also kind of a test of the camera. How's it doing? Is it fine? Glad we don't have that glowy thing anymore. Yeah, I mean, we still have a lot to appreciate. We still got a lot of great things. I am super duper absolutely grateful for Asteroid Fight Club, everybody out there, all the cool people, all the doctors, the nurses, the drivers, I've been living here for 3 years, and right down the road, there's a nice little Walmart. And I've always loved the people that work there. I always appreciate the people that work there. I am super pro Walmart. I know that freaks some people out, but people get freaked out over whatever. And some of my favorite moments in life have been whenever I walk into Walmart to get my mama flowers. Most of the Walmarts I know, when I was ready to get my mama flowers, they had a really nice flower display for me to choose from. And I was grateful every single time that there was a nice display and then I could take my mama flowers. And yeah, there have been many times in my life I brought my mama flowers for Easter. Anyway, I texted her today, just tell her that I love her and she's beautiful, and happy Good Friday. And she said, I finished your mask. You're getting you a mask, and then I'm going to get one for your friend. And so that was, thank you, Mama. So yeah, we have a lot to be grateful for. And I'm grateful for the health and happiness of everyone around me, including people I've never met. Huh. Okay. And now this is part of the show where I'm going to play guitar. So if you're here, you're into that. And I'm a vape too. It is interesting that sometimes last time I did these videos where people were like, dude, your health is horrible, you're fat, you shouldn't be drinking, shouldn't be smoking. But honestly, between us, for the last 5 years, which is about the time that I've been Planetary Defense Commander, like the fact that I am still alive is a collection of a million miracles. I wish you had a better understanding of everything it took to get me and even us this far. So it's easy for me to be grateful this weekend. Grateful for all the simple things. Grateful for the idea that we do have a good future ahead of us. But holy crap, I'm so sick of all the people who are like, only negative things can happen. Only negative plans can work. That like evil bad guys will rule always. I don't believe that. Not for a single second. Seasons always change, man. All right. And so yeah, technically this is a test for the camera. You remember when I said it would rain? Do you remember when I said there would be glory? Well, the sun is back again. The sun is back again. The sun is back again. Yeah. Okay, so today was gonna be the day that I started walking a couple miles again every day to get in shape, but doesn't look like that's how it's gonna turn out. Did I mention play good defense? Great. Oh, hold on. No. Oh. Hey. Man, I need to get some type of a lighting system set up so you will know just how beautiful my eyes are. Someday, I guess. Okay. Sitting on shooting stars, waving at empty cars. Tell me, do you see it? It ain't the first time and it won't be the last time. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. 'Cause I've got unicorn feelings, their emotions and their meanings. I've got unicorn feelings. Y'all are great. Do I say that enough? Y'all are fan. Where's your eyeball? Oh my God. I gotta go. Nick Loves just posted a new video. It was a kind of a joke. She's cute and smart and cool and talented and has an ethereal quality that is comforting. Do you guys like people? I do. I don't know. I like to find people that I think are cool, interesting, fascinating, smart, neato, creative. You know, the world is filled with cool people who can always teach you something. That's exciting, right? And so I don't know if people want to admit it, but because please remember, okay, so me being Planetary Defense Commander for 5 years, that especially the last year, if not 2 years, I have been like basically staying inside my apartment, totally locked down, making extremely rare appearances outside of my apartment because the world has been weird. And so now you're kind of all in my shoes. And then on top of that, I've seen weird things in the sky, in the weather, possibly with aliens, possibly with insects, possibly with dimensions, you know? And that's why I kind of miss the cool art of great conversations. So you could have a great conversation about any subject in the world and have it go all night without anybody flipping out. And so, like, man, like, you know, some of the taboo subjects, like aliens, for lack of a better word, because I really think it's a really shitty thing to do for, like, our country to name anyone outside of our country aliens, which then confuses us, which might be Martians or Plutonians. You know, it was a real cheap trick to do, man. So yeah, I'm talking about like whatever is in our sky. And so, as I've mentioned many times, I don't know what's going on up there. And I'm not sure at this point. I would be surprised if there's some major revelations during 2020, you know? You know what I'm saying? Do you? I mean, that's why another thing, like if I want to talk about stars, moon, Jupiter, aliens, other dimensions, that, you know, when people are like politics or like somehow can tie it all back to a political argument, it's like, dude, we're trying to move forward here. There are a whole lot more subjects than politics. Okay, great. I love you. What the heck? Thank you very much. With my new phone, the chat is very small, and a lot of times I just get. Thank you very much, whoever that was. You know what scares me? Sometimes it's success. Like, I can be way more comfortable if, like, everybody's attacking me, or everybody's trying to destroy me, or set me on fire, firing bullets, or sabotaging me. That's like, I can handle it. But like when I start to do a little better than the normal, oh my God, I'm under fire at all times, where I feel like I can take a breath, that scares me. You know what I'm talking about? My mama used to always say, you have fears of success. But that seems like another way of saying something else. She said to me, you like to do things the hardest way possible. I was like, what better way to learn really great lessons? You know? I feel like a goober. So yeah, we can blame it on those 2 beers that I've had today. But it's Good Friday. And I'm a Texan and a Viking, though I was born in Illinois. Though I consider Wisconsin God's country, because that's where both of my grandparents came from. And Wisconsin is gorgeous farmland with the greatest cheese you've ever tasted. Like if you ever pulled fresh cheese off the cheese factory poll, the workers would have to let you do that. That's not some, it's called cheese curds. And cheese curds is the greatest cheese on earth. I don't know. So yeah, I love Wisconsin. I love Illinois. Love Texas. I love Colorado. I even love California, man. I spent 1 year living in Southern California. Technically, it was Hollywood. And I spent 1 year living in Northern California. Technically, it was like 40 minutes outside of the heart of Silicon Valley. And I lived in Arizona. That was only a summer with my dad. I love all the states, man. Every single state I've ever been to, and I have not been to them all. I'm like, whoa, I love the state. This is so cool. And most of the time, I can talk to anyone anywhere and have a good 2 or 3 minute conversation. Be like, hey, it was great to have met you. Thank you. I'm like, I like this place. But sure, yeah, you're going to run into some dipshits or assholes if you pull outside of like 8 people. If you meet more than 8 people in your life, the odds are high that you're going to meet someone that you're like, I didn't really like that guy, and I don't really want to spend any more time with that person ever again, So in conclusion, I love the states, and I love the people. And that I think the lockdown, in a lot of terms, has been scary, but good. But being a Texan, watching what's going on in New York, like there's so much we don't know. And as someone who does his best to protect human beings, the animals, the planet, and then keep it all together and then improve it, we don't like it's really, we don't know a whole lot about what is going on, and we don't know a whole lot about what this thing is going to mutate into. That our president today, during one of the clips I saw from his press conference, was talking about in certain words how smart this thing, like he would use smart, or like it's a very strange new strain of holy shit, what the fuck. This thing hates human beings, and it hates them in a way we don't understand yet. We don't know how. I believe it was around in November and has been growing. And so it's just like, there's just a lot we don't know, man. So I love all 50 states, and I highly recommend everybody play amazing defense throughout all of April. And then, like I said, I keep everybody, have a 100-year plan to play good, 100-day plan to play good defense for everyone, every American, technically every Earthling. And that we will do our best to keep it together for the next 100 days. Keep everybody fed, lights on, water running, all the essential workers protected as possible. And then during that time, we will figure out exactly what is happening and what the best thing we can do on July 4th. And hopefully we can celebrate having figured this out and hopefully got it under control, for lack of a better term, in a way. And then we will have a new outlook on whatever new system we are going to have to have adapted to. Like that, or like everything totally fails, and that would suck. All right, crap, shucks. Man, what was in this vape stick? Happy Resurrection Day. Happy Good Friday. And so, yes, between now and the weekend, I guess I and we will spend some time talking about Christianity and Jesus and Christians. And that I need you to know I have a very fiercely independent. I'm one man who's lived my whole life in my body with my brain, my mind, and I've only experienced my experiences through my own perspective as one man. So like, and there's 7 billion people out there. And so all 7 billion people have a totally different experience with what they've experienced in their life every second of every day. And so I know people at times are like, dude, you're wrong, or you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And hey, I recognize a lot of people out there may be like that, but at this point, I don't feel like you're going to be able to out-Christian me, just because of something that you believe, that you will not be able to provide any actual evidence or proof to make me stop believing my own experiences. Does that make sense? Because there are so many different Christian points that you can do. Like, there are so many things to disagree on. And the core is what Jesus say: love God above all else and love your neighbor as your family. Those are 2 rules. And so it's more about simplifying it and then figuring out how to get everybody to appreciate Johnny Cash and Willie Nelson. So there's your whole bridge right there. That you had Jesus here, and then 2,000 years later you had Johnny Cash and Willie Nelson. And 2,000 years later, Jesus is stronger than ever. I mean, it's the whole Council of Nicaea and the whole book, the Bible itself, and all the books put together and all the translations of all the things. And then not only of the translation of the original writing itself, but then each 7 billion person on the planet has their own individual interpretation of every single sentence in the Holy Bible. Do you understand that? Every single person who's read the Bible, like how you read that one line or how you read that, everybody they read what they see and hear in their brain is totally different than what 7 billion other people would see or hear in their brain. Does that make sense? So you got a bunch of people always arguing about the details. And I always try and boil it down to like, are you being cool? Or are you not being cool? You know what I'm saying? Remember, everybody's just been kicking the shit out of everybody and gossiping and the worst accusations. I mean, it's just been like the entire world has been turned into the YouTube comment section. I'm not talking about just on my channel, but just like pretty much all YouTube comment sections out there. You know? Like, was it talking about, I don't know, shit, that vapey shit must have been super strong. I wouldn't get in major trouble and I don't get fired. Or I say something dumb or put out anything other than wisdom. Can't be full of wisdom 24/7. That would be mathematically impossible. Asterisk. Dang. Did I drink that second beer already? Wait, that would be beer 3? I can't even count. Lockdown. Quarantine day. March 10th. And I said, did the QA9 arrest happen today? The mass arrest? And someone said they've been pushed back to the 15th to honor Waco. And I was like, oh, okay. That makes sense. Asterisk. And then Selena Gomez officially picked her boyfriend for 2020. And it was a frog. But there are probably 3 billion point 4 other females out there. I would guess at least 22% of them are single. I don't even know. I can't do math like that. Never claimed I could. So, Merry Christmas. God bless everyone. Stay cool. And I'll probably be back. But hopefully I can make a weather video because the images that I can show you now will help paint a picture of what the next 3 days are going to be like. And definitely on Sunday, you're going to get a whole lot of Jesus and hope and good spirit. But you're going to get a whole lot of storm at the same time. It's going to be like the best of both worlds. It was the best of times and it was the worst of times. And everything was changing. But I got a feeling it was going to eventually get a whole lot better. But we got to just do really well, really smart, play great defense, and come up with and implement good ideas over the next 100 days as an Earth team. That's all we got to do. Love you. Stay cool. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you. God bless everyone. Please send more help.